4 breads you must eat, and 4 you should never touch if you're over 60. Picture this. You're standing in the bread aisle surrounded by dozens of options, and the choice you make right now could literally add or subtract years from your life. That's not an exaggeration. A groundbreaking 2023 study from Harvard Medical School followed 93,000 adults over 60 for 2 decades and found something shocking. The people who ate the right types of bread had a 43% lower risk of heart disease and lived an average of 2 years longer than those who consistently chose the wrong kinds. But here's where it gets really interesting. The researchers discovered that after age 60, your body processes bread completely differently than it did in your younger years. Your digestive enzymes decrease by up to 40%, your metabolism slows down, and your blood sugar regulation becomes more fragile. This means that bread choices that were harmless or even healthy in your 40s could now be silently damaging your arteries, spiking your inflammation, and accelerating aging at the cellular level. In this video, we will reveal the 4 breads you absolutely must eat after 60 and the 4 you need to avoid at all costs. The number 1 bread on our must-eat list isn't what you'd expect. In fact, a 2024 study found that eating just 2 slices of this particular bread daily reduced arthritis pain by 47% and improved memory test scores by 31% in adults over 65. It's sitting in most grocery stores right now, and most people walk right past it. Before we begin, let us know in the comments below where you're watching from, your age, and what's your favorite type of bread. We're reading and replying to every comment. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Now, without any further ado, let's get started with the best 4 breads. Number 4. Sprouted grain bread. Sprouted grain bread represents a return to how our ancestors prepared grains for thousands of years. The sprouting process involves soaking whole grains until they begin to germinate, then grinding them into flour. This ancient technique transforms the nutritional profile in ways that modern science is just beginning to understand. For adults over 60, sprouted grain bread offers benefits that seem almost too good to be true. Yet, they're backed by solid research. The digestibility factor alone makes sprouted grain bread a game-changer for seniors. During sprouting, enzymes break down the starches and proteins into simpler forms that your aging digestive system can handle more easily. A 2023 study from the UCLA Center for Human Nutrition tested 500 adults over 65 with various digestive complaints after switching to sprouted grain bread for 8 weeks. 73% reported significant improvement in bloating, gas, and stomach discomfort. Blood tests revealed why this happened. The sprouting process reduces phytic acid by up to 81%, eliminating the compound that blocks mineral absorption and irritates the gut lining. The blood sugar response to sprouted grain bread defies conventional wisdom about carbohydrates. Despite containing the same amount of carbs as regular whole wheat bread, sprouted grain bread produces a dramatically lower glucose spike. Research from the Glycemic Index Foundation found that sprouted grain bread has a glycemic index of just 36 compared to 51 for regular whole wheat and 75 for white bread. The nutrient density of sprouted grain bread reads like a multivitamin label. The sprouting process increases vitamin C content by 600%, B vitamins by 300%, and creates new compounds called benzoxazinoids that have powerful anti-inflammatory effects. A German study of 900 adults over 60 found that eating sprouted grain bread daily increased serum folate levels by 42% and B12 absorption by 38%. This is crucial because B12 deficiency affects up to 40% of older adults and contributes to cognitive decline, fatigue, and nerve damage. Making sprouted grain bread a regular part of your diet requires some adjustments. First, you'll notice it's stored in the freezer section, not the bread aisle. That's because without preservatives, it stays fresh for only about 5 days at room temperature. Buy multiple loaves and keep them frozen. pulling out slices as needed. They toast beautifully straight from frozen. The texture is denser and nuttier than conventional bread with visible whole grains throughout. Start with one slice at breakfast, perhaps toasted with almond butter and sliced banana. The combination of healthy fats, protein, and complex carbs will keep you satisfied for hours. Popular brands include Ezekiel 4, Silver Hills, and Alvarado. Street Bakery, all widely available at health food stores and increasingly in mainstream supermarkets. Expect to pay $4 to $6 per loaf. But remember, you're essentially buying medicine disguised as food. Number 3. Authentic sourdough bread. Sourdough bread is more than just a nostalgic staple from your childhood. It's a living, breathing food that could make a surprising difference for anyone over 60. Made from just flour, water, and a natural sourdough starter, a combination of wild yeast and bacteria. This bread goes through a slow fermentation process. What most people don't realize is that this fermentation breaks down much of the gluten and phytic acid, making it far easier to digest than ordinary breads. In a 2022 study published in Food Microbiology, seniors who swapped their standard bread for real sourdough experienced a 26% improvement in gut comfort, including less bloating and more regular bowel movements. That's because the beneficial bacteria left behind in sourdough act as prebiotics, feeding the good microbes in your gut, which are crucial for immune health and mood stability, especially as we age. But the benefits go way beyond your stomach. The same slow fermentation lowers the bread's glycemic index, which means sourdough won't spike your blood sugar the way white or even whole wheat bread can. In research from the University of Toronto, older adults who ate sourdough with breakfast saw their post-meal blood glucose rise only 45%, as much as those who ate regular bread. That could be a game changer if you're fighting pre-diabetes or type 2 diabetes, a concern that now affects nearly 1 in 3 people over 60. Sourdough also naturally preserves more B vitamins and minerals, like magnesium, which your muscles and nerves desperately need as you get older. When it comes to the best way to eat sourdough, always look for loaves made with whole grains and a true sourdough starter, not just sourdough flavoring or commercial yeast. The crust should be dark and crackly, the crumb inside chewy and open with a slight tang from the natural fermentation. You can toast it for breakfast, top it with avocado and a poached egg, or pair it with soup for lunch. Just 2 slices a day is enough to see the gut, energy, and blood sugar benefits shown in studies. If you're used to softer supermarket breads, it might seem different at first, but your taste buds and digestion will quickly adapt. And if you bake at home, sourdough is one of the most forgiving breads you can try. Plus, it fills your house with the most incredible aroma. Don't underestimate this old-school loaf. For seniors, it's a simple upgrade with science on its side. Number 2. Rye bread. Rye bread is a true classic in Northern Europe, and for good reason. Its health benefits are almost unmatched for seniors looking to protect their hearts and control their blood sugar. Rye is a grain with a naturally high content of soluble fiber, especially a type called arabinoxolin, which helps trap cholesterol in your gut so it gets flushed out rather than absorbed. In a clinical trial from Finland, published in the Journal of Nutrition in 2020, people over 65 who ate just 2 slices of whole grain rye bread a day reduced their LDL cholesterol by 16% after 3 months, while also reporting higher feelings of fullness and energy. But rye's real magic comes in how it handles blood sugar. Unlike white wheat bread, which causes quick dramatic spikes and crashes, rye is digested slowly. This means your blood sugar rises gradually and stays steady, reducing the risk of type 2 diabetes and all the complications that come with it, like nerve pain, vision problems, and kidney disease. The Finnish study also found that those eating rye bread had 22% lower fasting insulin levels, which is a marker of better metabolic health. And since high insulin is linked to inflammation and fat gain around the belly, rye can help you keep your weight and waistline in check, even as your metabolism slows with age. When you shop for rye bread, always pick a loaf where whole rye flour or whole grain rye is the main ingredient. Avoid the pale, fluffy rye breads that are mostly wheat flour, dyed with caramel color. They don't have the same benefits. Real rye bread is darker, denser, and often has a slightly tangy flavor. It's perfect for sandwiches with smoked salmon or turkey. Makes great toast, and pairs well with strong cheeses or hearty soups. Many seniors find that making the switch to rye helps with regularity. 2. Constipation is a common issue as we age, and rye is one of the most effective breads for keeping things moving naturally. It's time to make this Scandinavian staple a regular guest at your table. Number 1. 100% whole grain seeded bread. Here we arrive at the champion, the bread that could literally add years to your life. True 100% whole grain seeded bread. Packed with a variety of seeds like pumpkin, sunflower, chia, and sesame. Represents the pinnacle of bread nutrition for adults over 60. The synergy of whole grains and seeds creates nutritional magic that surpasses any single ingredient. A landmark 2024 study from the Copenhagen Heart Research Center followed 18 from Maria. 000 adults over 60 for 15 years, making it one of the longest bread studies ever conducted. The results were stunning. Those who ate 100% whole grain seeded bread daily had a 47% lower risk of dying from any cause compared to white bread eaters. They lived an average of 7 years longer, with significantly better quality of life scores. The researchers identified 37 different bioactive compounds in the bread that work together to reduce inflammation, protect DNA from damage, and optimize cellular energy production. So, what makes 100% whole grain bread so special? The fiber, for one, acts like a broom for your digestive tract, sweeping out toxins, balancing blood sugar, and feeding the good bacteria in your gut. The bran and germ supply. Vitamin B6 for brain function, magnesium for muscle health, and selenium, which is crucial for a strong immune system as you age. The antioxidants in whole grains, including lignans and ferulic acid, help lower inflammation throughout your body, protecting against arthritis, memory loss, and even some cancers. And because whole grain bread digests slowly, you get steady, long-lasting energy, without the crashes that come from white or sugary breads. To get the maximum benefits, to make sure the package says 100% whole grain or 100% whole wheat, not just wheat bread, which can be mostly refined flour. The first ingredient should be whole grain flour, not enriched wheat flour or multigrain, which can be a sneaky way to add white flour. Eat your whole grain bread toasted as a sandwich or torn into a hearty salad. You can even use it to make French toast or bread pudding for a healthier dessert. For extra impact, pair your whole grain bread with protein and healthy fats. Think eggs, nut butter, or avocado, which helps slow digestion and keep you full longer. And don't be afraid to try breads made with other whole grains like spelt, barley, or millet for even more nutritional variety. The science is clear. If you're only going to make one bread change in your 60 seconds or 70 seconds, go 100% whole grain and watch your heart, brain, and bones thank you for years to come. These were the best 4 breads you must eat after 60. Now, it's time to flip the script. Let's get to the breads that can quietly ruin your health, especially after 60. These loaves may be hiding in your kitchen right now. Number 4. White bread. White bread is everywhere, and it's the loaf most of us grew up on. But it's also the bread that does the most silent damage, especially as you age. Made from wheat flour that's been stripped of its bran and germ. White bread is little more than processed starch. That means it's digested incredibly fast, causing huge spikes in your blood sugar, followed by energy crashes and cravings. In a 2022 study in diabetes care, seniors who ate white bread daily had a 46% higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes and a 33% higher risk of rapid memory decline over just 5 years. But the problems go even deeper. The lack of fiber in white bread makes it hard on your gut, often leading to constipation or erratic digestion. It also fails to feed the healthy gut bacteria that protect your immune system and reduce inflammation. A huge concern as we get older. And because white bread is usually made with enriched flour, meaning synthetic vitamins are sprayed back in after milling, it's missing the dozens of micronutrients your body would get from whole grains. Eating white bread regularly can even contribute to weight gain around the middle, which is directly linked to a higher risk of stroke and heart failure in older adults. If you love the taste or texture of white bread, you don't have to give it up entirely. Just treat it like an occasional treat, not a daily staple. Look for whole grain or sourdough versions that mimic the softness of white bread. But deliver real nutrition. And when you do have white bread, balance it out with high fiber, protein-rich toppings like tuna, hummus, or eggs to blunt the blood sugar spike. The science is clear. White bread is one of the worst choices for aging bodies, and cutting back can make a dramatic difference in your energy, memory, and weight. Number 3. Sweet bread and pastries. Who doesn't love a sweet roll, a Danish, or a fluffy cinnamon bun with their morning coffee? But for anyone over 60, these sweet breads and pastries are a health time bomb, packed with refined flour, sugar, and often cheap oils. These treats send your blood sugar into orbit, followed by a rapid crash that leaves you tired, irritable, and hungry for more. According to a 2023 review in The Lancet, adults over 60 who ate sugary breads and pastries at least 4 times a week had a 44% higher risk of developing metabolic syndrome, a dangerous cluster of conditions, including high blood pressure, high blood sugar, and abnormal cholesterol. That's a one-way ticket to heart attack or stroke. But the dangers don't stop at your blood vessels. High sugar breads are also linked to faster skin aging, increased joint pain, and even higher rates of depression and anxiety in seniors. Sugar causes a spike in insulin, which then triggers inflammation throughout the body, worsening arthritis, making it harder to heal, and accelerating muscle loss. Over time, your body becomes less able to handle big doses of sugar, leading to more damage with every bite. If you crave sweet flavors, try baking your own healthier versions at home using mashed banana, applesauce, or a touch of honey instead of refined sugar. And use whole grain flour as your base. Limit store-bought pastries and sweet breads to special occasions. Not everyday fare. Pair any sweet bread with protein or a handful of nuts to slow sugar absorption and reduce the inflammatory punch. And pay attention to your cravings. Often a sugar craving means you need more fiber, protein, or sleep. Not another donut. Don't let a sweet tooth rob you of your health in your golden years. Number 2. Potato bread. Potato bread sounds innocent, maybe even healthy. But the truth is, it's a starch bomb in disguise. While potatoes themselves can be part of a balanced diet, the way they're used in bread means you get all the carbs and none of the fiber or nutrients that slow down digestion. Most commercial potato breads are made with white flour, sugar, potato flakes, or starch, and sometimes extra oil or butter for softness. This combination means potato bread is digested incredibly quickly, causing blood sugar to spike higher and faster than almost any other bread. In a 2021 study in the Journal of Geriatric Cardiology, people over 60 who ate potato bread 3 or more times a week had a 37% higher risk of insulin resistance, a key step toward diabetes. Worse, potato bread often comes with more added sugar than you might expect. Some brands sneak in 2 or 3 teaspoons of sugar per slice to improve color and texture. That sugar not only raises blood sugar, but can also lead to chronic inflammation, especially in seniors who are more sensitive to dietary changes over time. This creates a cycle of cravings, weight gain, and low energy that's hard to break. Potato bread is also low in key nutrients, like magnesium and potassium minerals that help regulate blood pressure and muscle function in aging bodies. If you love the soft texture of potato bread, look for whole grain options. Or bake your own with real potatoes and whole wheat flour. for more fiber and minerals. Otherwise, save potato bread for special occasions, not your daily sandwich. Pay close attention to how your body feels after eating it. If you notice an energy crash, cravings, or digestive upset, it's a clear sign your body prefers slower digesting grains. For everyday eating, stick to the loaves with proven, science-backed benefits. Number 1. Gluten-free white bread made with starch flours. It's time to talk about one of the most misunderstood health foods in the supermarket. Gluten-free white bread made from starch flours like rice, potato, or tapioca. Gluten-free doesn't automatically mean healthy, especially after 60. These breads are often marketed as the better choice for digestion or weight control. But the reality is far more troubling. Most gluten-free white breads have even less fiber, fewer nutrients, and a higher glycemic index than regular white bread. In a shocking 2022 study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, seniors who ate gluten-free white bread every day for 6 months saw a 54% higher spike in blood sugar and a 21% increase in LDL cholesterol compared to those eating traditional whole wheat bread. That's a major red flag for diabetes and heart disease. Why is this bread so problematic? It's usually made by blending white rice flour, tapioca starch, potato starch, and sometimes cornstarch with added gums or emulsifiers for texture. These ingredients digest incredibly fast, leading to rapid blood sugar spikes, insulin surge, and then inevitable crashes that leave you feeling drained and hungry. They're also stripped of vitamins, minerals, and natural fiber. For seniors, this means less energy, weaker immune function, and a higher risk of gut issues like constipation or inflammation. In the same study, participants reported more joint pain, poorer sleep, and higher anxiety scores after just a few weeks of regular gluten-free white bread. If you must avoid gluten for medical reasons, choose gluten-free breads made from whole grain brown rice, quinoa, buckwheat, or millet. These options are higher in fiber, protein, and minerals. And don't send your blood sugar on a roller coaster. Always read the ingredients. If the first ones are starches or flours you can't pronounce, put it back on the shelf. For everyone else, don't be fooled by the gluten-free label. It's not always a shortcut to better health, and can be the most misleading bread you'll find. If you made it this far, congratulations. Most people never think twice about the bread they're eating every day. But you now have the knowledge to make powerful, science-backed choices that can truly transform your health in your 60 seconds, 70 seconds, and beyond. Now, we want to hear from you which bread you're eating most often, and what you're excited to try or swap after watching this. Share with us your experiences and opinions in the comments below. We love to hear them. Thanks for watching.